Healthcare services describes a broad waterfront of companies, including managed care insurance companies, acute care hospitals, and other providers across the continuum of care, the supply chain, including distributors, as well as healthcare technology companies, whether those be tech-enabled services companies, HCIT companies, software as a services companies, or even high-growth digital health. I'd say we're seeing 5 or 6 key trends or dynamics that I would cite. Number 1 would be an intense focus by companies on providing whole-person, personalized healthcare. Number 2 would be an optimization of site of care. Number 3 would be a focus on value-based care. Number 4 would be an intense focus on serving government business, in particular Medicare Advantage and Medicaid. Number 5 would be the consumerization of healthcare and omnichannel consumer engagement. And number 6 would be a breakdown in silos between healthcare and technology to create more technologically enabled healthcare companies. I think spanning most, if not all, of these key dynamics is the use of vast data sets, the connecting of dots across previously disparate data sets, and the application of highly sophisticated analytics to drive better decision-making across the continuum of care. We're seeing a couple dynamics in that regard. As it relates to strategic players, they tend to take a long-term view of their business strategy and operations, and in this regard, they will look forward and say, what does it take to play to win and best serve our end markets 10 or 5 years from now? And they work backwards from that, looking at capabilities and gaps and how M&A can help fill those gaps, whether it be defensively or offensively. We see these players, these strategic players, focused on things like healthcare technology, government business, and the consumer. As it relates to private equity, they've demonstrated themselves to be an incredibly successful owner and investor in healthcare services companies, and they have significant dry powder to invest. We see private equity being incredibly active in healthcare services M&A over the near to intermediate term, particularly focusing on market-leading companies that private equity can take, and particularly if they were publicly held, accelerate or amplify those business plans in a private context, including regarding add-on M&A.